Welcome back, everyone. We are broadcasting live from Lafayette, Indiana. This week, joining us over the phone will be Zach from Remembering Elle and what was that? Eiros.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be joining us around 7:30. We'll be chatting with him and talking about all of his stuff. He's got a lot going on, so he'll be joining us here shortly. So stick around.
What up?
What's going on, everyone? We're back in it.
That we are.
So different doing it live.
That is true. It is a little odd.
It's very odd.
So what's up? What's new with you, bud?
Oh, it was not a bad week. It's a short week for me. Took the day off.
Yeah.
And Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's going to be a good time.
Well, I mean, it's your birthday, right?
Yeah, it is my birthday.
So that's cool.
Yeah, kind of. Not really. 25th birthday.
Okay.
Hey, guy can dream, right?
I don't know. Do you really want to go back in time and be 25?
Kind of, because I don't even remember. I don't remember the year I was 25.
Really?
Do you?
No, I don't remember a lot of things though.
Really, anywhere from 21 to 25, I don't really remember. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So, with the fade.
Yeah. You know what's really annoying about most things in life is this town's construction. Oh my God, dude. It took me 30 minutes to get home from work and it's a mile away.
Yeah, it takes me, I don't even know how far. It takes me 30 minutes to get across town anymore.
It took me 30
From my
minutes to
house
go
to
a
the
mile,
job.
bud. I went
Wait, how many?
30 minutes to get home from work.
Wow.
I had to go. So they were digging up our parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
fixing drainage issues. So I can't get on to the road I would normally take, Earl Avenue, to get home. So I had to go out the back, get on 52 that's closed. You can't go to 26. So you have to, and it's only one way. So you have to go out on the 52, do a U-turn, go back around. And then Union Street's so backed up from traffic that you can't turn left onto it.
Right.
So I go down to Greenbush, and I go on to Greenbush. And 18th Street's so backed up you can't get on it.
Yeah, because all the traffic that would usually be on 52
is getting pushed onto these streets.
Yeah, it's now it's on the surrounding streets. Yeah, it's hell.
So I keep going downtown. I go to 9th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you go down 9th Street to a certain point and it's closed. So then I had to go.
Closed now?
Yeah, so I had to go all the streets from like Ferry that parallel. I think you can't. I don't think you can get to. Yeah, you can get to Ferry, but after that, 9th Street's closed, and all the streets going downtown are like closed in that same row. So you have to go all the way down to the bus depot on like 2nd Street.
Oh my God, and that's bad too.
Yeah, and you got all the buses everywhere. So yeah, it took me 30 minutes to get home from work.
See, this is why we drink.
Off. I was so pissed.
This is why everyone drinks in this town. It's because all the construction.
Oh, dude, I was so mad.
It's awful. You can't get anywhere.
No, and you're getting off work, and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah, you're at work, and you're like, oh, do I really have to be off work and drive home? I'd rather just stay at work.
Right.
At least I get paid for the bullshit if I stay at work.
Yeah, but I don't want to be there either, so
right.
There's that.
Yeah. So that was your week, bud. Yeah.
I kind of just summed it up. And then on top of that, we're working at a cement factory.
Yeah, you're not too happy about that, are you?
No, and I haven't even had to do the hard part of it. Like the other guys are doing the hardest stuff. And I just came into towards this part, the end of it, and I hate it. I just want to jump off a bridge. Like it, dude. The worst thing you could ever say to me is, "We're gonna go run wire in a cement factory." Everything's made of cement. Everything is made out of cement. Everything.
Everything.
Should everything be made out of cement? No, but it is. The ceiling is cement. The walls are cement. The door frames are full of cement.
The doors are cement.
Pretty much. It's the worst thing.
Yeah, the office is right through here. If you can just help me push this door open, it's really heavy.
It's the worst shit ever. Like, I don't know how, and it's in Logansport.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
And it's in like the worst town ever.
Dude, Logansport sucks.
Yeah.
For the people listening, Logansport is god awful.
I don't care if you're from Logansport.
Yeah,
The
you
place
know
sucks.
it sucks. You know Logansport sucks.
I don't know how those people go to work every day.
I don't know either, because like just driving around in that town, it's aggravating. I thought
worst.
Lafayette was aggravating.
Yeah.
And they don't even have construction, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's depressing.
It is. You get there and you're like, oh, cool, they have a Hardee's, but no, that one sucks.
Yeah, I still ate there the other day though.
It was awful, wasn't it?
It was all right.
You're like, I was really hungry.
It was decent. They didn't have they don't have the chicken strips anymore though. Those really good chicken strips that Hardee's always had.
Yeah,
He
the
said
last
they don't
time
do
I was
anymore.
there, I had the chicken strips and they were awful. So that's probably a good thing they got rid of them.
I always like they were good when I had them, but whatever. Fine.
No, they were awful.
Okay.
Awful. I'm having flashbacks. It's awful.
Can't handle it.
So I was listening to the radio today, and that's a rare thing, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, it's an old car. There's no CD player. It's just a tape deck.
Nice.
I have no tapes.
You can get those converters still on Amazon, I think,
Oh, really?
for your phone.
Anyways,
I would
they
assume
were
you can get anything on Amazon anymore.
they were talking about music and history.
Yeah.
And I actually heard this one on the radio, but I couldn't quite hear what they were talking about because the radio kept cutting in and out. Go figure. But I ended up finding it, and it's on July 28th in 1969. Police in Moscow reported that thousands of public phone booths had been vandalized after thieves were stealing parts of the phones to convert their acoustic guitars to electric. A feature in a Russian youth magazine had shown details on how to do it. So everyone was just like, "Oh, I'm going to take the payphone parts." That was awful. It got a little southern there.
So they couldn't have
It's muted.
they couldn't have electric guitars there or what?
I don't know. I mean, it was 1969, so acoustics were probably more primary than electric guitars were.
Well, you know how Russia was.
Yeah.
Was, you know.
And like, I pay you in vodka. Vodka. I should really stop doing that.
Yeah. It's fine. So, July 28th, 1973, the Watkins Glen Outdoor Summer Jam was held outside of Watkins Glen, New York, with the Allman Brothers Band, the Grateful Dead, and the band.
The Grateful Dead and the band.
What's that mean?
I have no idea.
I think it was a mistype there, bud.
Probably.
Over 600,000 rock fans attended. Many historians claim that the event was the largest gathering of people in the history of the United States. 150,000 tickets were sold for $10 each, but for all the other people, it was free concert. The crowd was so huge that the larger part of the audience was not able to even see the stage. I did not know about that one.
Yeah, I didn't either. I found a really cool website. It's just called, what was it called? musicandhistory.com.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of cool stuff on there. Yeah, I didn't just type these because I wasn't even alive then. So obviously I wouldn't even know that.
You didn't just make all these up on your own?
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I was that cool.
Yeah.
To be like, did you know?
We should just start making shit up.
Making shit up?
Yeah.
Alternative facts?
Fake news.
Fake
news.
You're fake. You're all fake.
Yeah.
This one's a little closer. God, I see stuff from the 90s and I'm still like, that was like yesterday, right?
Yeah,
July
totally.
28th, 1992, rapper Ice-T announced that Warner Brothers Records would pull the controversial song Cop Killer from all future copies of his Body Count album. The song had been the target of protests by law enforcement groups who said it encouraged the killing of police. Ice-T said he would give away records of Cop Killer at his concerts. In an ironic twist, he would later join the cast of NBC police drama Law and Order.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, that's always funny.
Oh, man. Now he's back at it, though, I think, with his new thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think he's doing the same kind of stuff. Like, I don't think he's doing Cop Killer, but he's doing similar things.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that now.
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, he's kind of doing, but now it's like the thing to do, apparently. So, like, it's accepted.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Because that helps.
Yeah, don't do that. Because
that helps the situation.
Not only is, like, just don't kill somebody.
That's usually a pretty good rule to live by.
Yeah.
So, local spotlight this week.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday.
There's a lot going on, bud.
Yeah.
Got a Thursday show on the list.
Thursday, August 3rd. Baba Flex, Complication, and Black Earth will be performing at the Lafayette Theater. I'm getting crazy over here. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Lafayette Theater and Event Center Facebook page to find tickets. So
do it.
Friday,
August 4th and Saturday, August 5th. Mr. Funny Man will be performing at DT Kirby's Beach Food at Indiana Beach in Monticello, Indiana. Show starts at 9 p.m. No park admission required. No cover.
Mm-hmm. Friday, August 4th. The Rockstar DJ Tre with Friday Austin will be performing at DT Kirby's Pub Patio. 21 plus only to enter. No cover.
So if DJing is your thing.
Is Digby's normally 21 and over, isn't it?
That's what I thought.
It's a bar.
Right.
I've never noticed.
But it's a patio, too.
That's true, but it's still part of the bar. Restaurant.
True.
Bar,
I always thought you had to be 21 and older, so...
We never put it on the other ones, I don't think. So I wasn't sure if that was if it was different. You got me questioning things, bud.
This next show, this guy's name is one of the best names I've ever seen for an act. Friday, August 4th, Riff Shredderson will be performing at Knickerbocker Saloon. Show starts at 10 p.m. No cover charge listed, but bring some cash just in case, because with my experience going to shows there's always a cover. And for people not around the Lafayette area, the Knickerbocker is the oldest bar in Indiana. Mm-hmm. And it's right here in Lafayette.
Oh, it's the oldest bar. Yeah, it is the oldest bar in Indiana, isn't it?
Yeah.
Friday, August 4th. Carrie and Vale. Avacar? Why do you do this to me every week? And Thermonuclear Division will be performing at the Doom Room. Doors open at 8 p.m. Shows at 9 p.m. $5 donation strongly encouraged.
You should donate $5.
You should probably do it.
It's a pretty sweet venue.
Yeah.
The guy always has like killer bands in there, so.
Indeed.
You should do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go.
Yeah, you're going to
go. Saturday, August 5th, the Not Your Father's Hardcore, the Not Your Father's Hardcore Music Festival will take place in Attica, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
King's Gambit, Wolves on Bears, No Home, Old Poet, and more will be performing. Total of 10 bands. There's food, drinks, door prizes, camping, bonfire, and a dunk tank.
A dunk tank?
So you could get drunk getting the dunk tank, then it turns into the drunk tank.
Who's getting dunked?
I don't know.
That's awesome, dunk tank.
Tickets are $12. If you don't buy tickets in advance, they're $15 at the gate. T-shirt ticket combo is $25. The event is bring your own beer, and you can find pre-sale tickets from the bands performing.
Nice.
I'm actually going, so.
Good.
Yeah, Steve and I are going.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I gotta work every Saturday of my life, so. Saturday, August 5th, the Mojo Makers will be performing at Sergeant Preston. Show starts at 9 p.m. No cover.
I love that place.
Yeah, it's good
They
stuff.
have a sweet ass patio.
They do have a really nice patio.
Yeah, it's like it's huge.
Huge.
It's totes huge.
Totally.
Totally.
Totally. So August Burns Red announced the new album Phantom Anthem and released the new single Invisible Enemy. The album is to make its debut August 6th.
Did you see that music video?
No, I have not.
They did it all with puppets. Like, it's pretty cool. But like puppets kind of like freak me out a little bit.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like the whole dolls thing in general just freaked me out. Especially porcelain dolls. Fuck those things.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
Yeah, we had a friend in high school. We'd go to his house and his mom collected porcelain dolls.
Mm.
And that was the entire living room.
Indeed creepy.
Yeah.
But I think my house is haunted by a guitar, so
It could.
my
Maybe,
house, this house.
yeah, you always seem to hear the guitar strum.
Yeah. It's happened a couple times now, so
Maybe the person who died in this house was a musician, which would be really fucking
maybe
cool.
that guitar's haunted. It didn't start until I got that guitar.
That's a good point.
So
You're right, it didn't.
it could be that guitar.
I've played on that guitar.
I did buy it used.
That's true.
Could
Yeah,
be
they
haunted.
say spirits can latch on to inanimate objects, so...
I didn't put it in the corner there, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, last week. I said it.
Fine.
What if I said I didn't?
At this
You'd be like, whatever.
whatever.
At this point,
I'm
whatever.
Just going with it.
Stick to Your Guns announced new album titled True View and released the new single, The Sun, the Moon, the Truth, Penance of Self.
Nice.
You think you should have flipped the titles? The album is to make its debut October 13th. That's a Friday this year.
Yeah, it is. I think we're gonna have a Friday the 13th party.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, we are.
Yeah.
So we're gonna podcast then party.
No, I think Gabby wanted to have a Friday the 13th party. But yeah, I guess we would podcast and then party. I guess that makes sense.
Fuck it, have a band play live.
You gotta do Halloween cover songs though. Something crazy like that.
They just play the song from Hocus Pocus like 14 times in a row.
Please don't. Do not do that.
Not even once. Not even once.
Knuckle Puck have released.
The way you say you're like Knuckle Puck.
They announced a new album, Shapeshifter, and will be out October 13th.
Were you laughing because of the band name?
Yeah.
It is funny. Moose Knuckle.
Knuckle Puck. I like
Knuckle Puck. They're pretty good. Zayo are planning a new EP for the near future. Following their latest album, 2016's The Well-Intentioned Virus.
Oh, yeah?
That's a dick move. But yeah, Zayo. Oh, man. I still have that Zayo sticker on the side of my amp.
Yeah.
Yep. Can't get it off. It's infused there. Not infused, it's fused.
Avenged Sevenfold is to replace Prophets of Rage at closing night of Houston Open Air.
A7X.
Yeah. What is that? I don't know when that is.
No idea.
But yeah, they're replacing Prophets of Rage at the Houston Open Air.
It's lucky it made the headlines.
Yeah, it is.
Katy Perry to host 2017 MTV Video Music Awards.
I don't care about Katy Perry anymore.
Some people care.
Katy Perry's lost.
They're concerned
me.
about her health.
She's lost me, dude. Yeah.
She went full Miley. You never go full Miley.
That Saturday Night Live performance she did just completely lost me.
Yeah, I was watching and I'm like, is
it a Beetlejuice? Like, is it an interpretive dance to Beetlejuice?
I'm going to show the viewers. This was my face. I was like,
yeah, it didn't make any sense.
yeah, it didn't. I said, yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't.
That didn't make any sense.
It did not.
She gonna get killed. She keep acting like that.
So, let's get through these upcoming tours real quick.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Mm-hmm. Thrice have announced a fall tour with Circa Survive, Chan, and Balance and Composure.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, December 7th, The Argonne Ballroom in Chicago.
We should go to that.
I would like to.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah. I could get that time off.
Right. I want to go to this.
Get that off.
I want to go to this next one. The Spill Canvas have announced a 10-year anniversary tour in celebration of their 2007 album, No Really, I'm Fine. They'll be at the Emerson Theater in Indianapolis Monday, October 16th.
The Emerson.
Who plays on a Monday?
Yeah. They make it tough on us, but
they do. They do.
Silverstein has announced an American tour dates with Seaway, Creeper, and Cedar Green. In addition to the Canadian tour dates going on at the same time, check their website for dates and locations.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, where were we? Periphery and Animals as Leaders announced a co-headlining tour Wednesday, November 1st at the Vic Theater in Chicago, Illinois.
Nice.
They will be there.
They will be.
Mm-hmm.
Reply to that, bud. I think that was your Facebook. I thought it was ours.
Yeah, I'm replying right now.
Minus the Bear have announced a fall tour with Silver Sun, with Silver's pickups.
Oh, Silver Sun pickups.
I thought Silver Sun pickups.
Autocorrect.
Check their website for dates and locations. Like, we just saw Silver Sun pickups.
Right? It's like, damn, they're going on tour again.
And Motionless and Light announced the Graveyard Shift U.S. tour with Amenity Affliction and Miss May I, Sunday, October 22nd at the House of Blues in Chicago, Illinois.
That's right.
That's right.
That's still one venue I haven't been to. The House of Blues in Chicago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, got anything you've been listening to this week?
Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna give a little throwback, bud.
Oh,
Boston. Thank you, Skype.
Skype is such an asshole.
Like,
I was trying to add our guest on there today, and like it just called him, and I was like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, did I just say Boston's self-titled album?
Okay. Yeah,
it is
that's a real throwback.
That is self-titled, right?
Yeah.
The one with More Than a Feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Is that the one with like the spaceship on the front of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, that album's so good.
I can't remember what song came on the other day on the radio of it. I was like, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it says your birthday's today on Skype. Thank you, Skype. You're so smart.
No, it's not. No, it's not my birthday. That thing lies.
It's a liar. It's a freaking liar.
Yeah, it is.
Facebook's blown up, bro.
It is. Dude, it's been all day. Getting all those birthday wishes.
Mm-hmm.
Birthday. It's your birthday. So, I've been listening to Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh, yeah? So are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Are you sad?
No.
Okay.
Just in pants. But I've been listening to their album Plans from 2005. Not as far back as yours.
Yeah.
But still a great album.
Like, I don't know what year the Boston album came out, but I didn't look it up.
You're like, yeah, I don't know what that is, but I don't know what year it is, but it's going on there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Zach coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna give him a call here in a second.
I'm gonna go ahead and load that in.
Gonna load that in. You want me to give him a call?
Yes, we are going to talk about that first.
This here. Probably need to bring the volume down just a hair because Skype always comes blasting into this bad boy.
It's like, what's up?
I'm Skype!
Yeah, Skype comes in pretty hot.
Yeah, it does. All right, I'm going to give him a call.
All right.
Hope he answers.
I hope so, too.
There we go. Now they're both recording.
Yeah. Gotta love the technical difficulties.
Every fucking time, man.
Oh, yeah. It's like, all right, everything's set. You hit the space bar, and it's just like, no, I'm not doing it.
Dude, I've been doing, my own recordings for years, and let me tell you, like, there is nothing worse than getting, spending like 3 or 4 hours on a recording and then having your whole fucking computer crash. And then you're just like, no!
Right? You're like, I worked so hard.
And then, of course, it's always when you never, you forget to, like, save it for, like, 3 hours or something,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
And then you're just like, oh, forget it. And then you just close your laptop or turn it off and walk away, you know?
Forget it. I'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, or maybe it just wasn't meant to me. Screw it.
Right.
You're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Then you get up and you're like, I'm not doing that today.
See, my problem's always been that my memory is such shite that like I can't like remember stuff. So I learned to do recording just because I couldn't remember anything. So it was like my short-term memory sucks. So it was always like, learn how to record this stuff so that I can keep listening to it over and over and over again.
Right.
And then, go, oh yeah, okay, now I remember how to play this. Like, yeah.
Right.
I always said if you can't remember it the next day, then it wasn't worth it.
Well, God, well then none of my stuff would have been worth it then because I would have never remembered it the next day. Maybe that's just the ADD. I don't know.
I guess that was before, I had access to recording software. And now I'm just like, I just record everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, I find myself taking my phone all the time when I'm at work or whatever and just like humming melodies in or tapping beats out or whatever, like all the time. And then like, I'll forget about it. And then I'll be going through like, why the hell is all the memory gone in my phone? And then I'm like looking through, it's like, oh shit, there's like, 50 freaking recordings in here of just random melodies and things that I did,
Right. Then you find some vocal tracks. You're like, oh God, why did I save that?
Right. There's always a few of those. Yes. Especially when you're recording in the car doing like 70 down the interstate or something, and you think you sound great and no.
Yeah. You're like, man, I sound good at 70 miles an hour. So for the viewers, joining us on the phone is Mr. Zach D. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, been busy, as I'm sure we'll get into.
Oh, yeah. That's the adult life.
Yeah. Adulting sucks.
Yeah, it does. But it has its rewards. We get to drink beer or, buy some cool things.
Yell at kids.
Yeah.
You buy kids? I'm not sure you want to be broadcasting that right now.
No. Yell at kids.
Oh, okay.
Total difference.
I was going to say, what the hell kind of podcast am I on, man?
You're like, there's a trap.
I gotta go.
Yeah, about that.
I forgot I left potatoes in the oven. I gotta go. So, from what you were telling me when I was talking to you on the phone earlier, mm-hmm. You can do it all. So, for the viewers, people listening, let's get a little background on you. How did you, what was I should say, since you can do everything, what was the first instrument that you played that got you hooked into music?
Drums. Drums that was what I started out with. In fact, it's no bullshit. I mean, like I started playing drums when I was about 3 years old.
Nice.
And my mom, likes to tell stories about when I was, an infant in the crib, kicking my arms and legs to the music. So, like, I mean, she knew then that I was going to be doing something with music. And then it was, of course, the cliche but true thing. I mean, I heard it was your birthday today, man, and you're not quite as old as I am yet.
Yeah.
But back in the day, a lot of kids started out like just banging on pots and pans and buckets and anything I could get my hands on, basically. And I did that for years. And I'm trying to remember, I think some friend of the family's or something got me like my first drum set. And I still remember this is going to date me a bit as to how old I actually am, but it was a straight up, no bullshit. It was a Muppet Babies kids drum set. And I destroyed that thing in like a week.
Really?
Like just absolutely destroyed it. And
full out
it
animal
took me,
that thing, didn't you?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, musician, that kind of thing. And, but then like, I didn't get another actual drum set for years. And then I had like a cousin who gave me some pieces to like one that he had in his basement. And I think I was about, I want to say 13 or 14 when I got my first like legitimate like new kit. And it was heaven. and I annoyed all of the neighbors for many years. But yeah, I mean, that was where I started. I mean, I picked up pretty much everything else over time.
That's awesome.
So
you got the drums, and you're like, man, I wish I had a full band. And you're like, wait.
Honestly, what happened was that I grew up primarily as a homeschooled kid. So I was pretty isolated for the most part. I mean, yeah, I had interactions with other kids and other things, but when you're a homeschool kid, it's like you do most of your schooling work in the first few hours of the day, and then you pretty much are free to do whatever. Right. And so I spent a lot of time at home, like listening to music and like eventually learning to play instruments and things. But the downside to it is that I didn't have as much interaction with other musicians. It was a lot harder to find other musicians, other kids that were interested in music. Right. So out of just simple necessity, and which is a theme you're probably going to hear a lot from me in this conversation, is like me learning to do things just out of necessity because I didn't have anybody else to go to. So, I mean, I honestly picked up guitar, I think for the first time when I was probably like, I want to say 10 or 11. And as anybody will tell you when they first start playing guitar, like I picked it up, I tried playing, and I put it down and said, screw this. Like, I can't do this. And then 6 months or so later, I picked it back up and then just kept sticking with it and learned to play it. But it was because I was hearing music in my head all the time. And it's one thing to sit behind a drum kit and jam and play, but when you're a drummer and you're hearing all this stuff in your head that you want to get out, like your only option is either to try to explain it to somebody who can play or learn to do it yourself. And because I didn't really have anybody else to explain it to, I was just like, well, guess I got to figure out how to do this myself. Right. So I picked up guitar and started learning how to play that. And eventually it became, I started playing guitar more and more and drums less because, let's face it, drums are absolutely fucking expensive. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's much cheaper to replace strings and stuff on a guitar than it is to be constantly replacing sticks and heads and cymbals. I mean, it's astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
but so, yeah, and then, of course, if you can play guitar, you can play bass. I mean, bass is,
That's true.
It's simple.
Yeah, there are some little, different techniques, like
very true
holding pick, or if you play bass and you like to use a pick, or if you use your fingers. But
yeah, I mean, I've kind of I play a little bit of both. I mean, I love the slap pop sound, but it's so, for me, you would think with me having a drumming background, it would be easy for me to pick that up. But for some reason, like I don't know if I've got baby fingers or what, but it kills me every time I try to do slap pop stuff. I can do it, but only for short intervals before like I feel like my thumb's about to fall off. So
start watching Seinfeld and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was all done with a fucking keyboard anyway, so what does it matter?
Bunch of liars.
Yeah, I mean, I actually came across that video not too long ago, and I was, have fallen down the YouTube rabbit hole, and I came across that video that was like an interview with the guy who created the iconic Seinfeld theme, and you're like seeing him in this tiny room with this keyboard and like a MIDI synthesizer, and it's just like, bow, 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 bow. And I'm like, really?
What a jackass.
Like, this dude is, I mean, this song is iconic, and it's all done with freaking computers and stuff. It's nuts. But I'm one to talk, though, because, hell, a lot of the stuff I do is synthesized as well, so.
So many years lied to.
Right? Yeah.
So, would you say the drums are your favorite instrument still, or?
It's hard for me to say which one is an actual favorite because, like, there's aspects of each thing that I love. One of the things since we were talking about bass, one of the things I loved about playing bass, I played bass for a band called GCR many years ago, and the thing I loved about that was the freedom, because I didn't have to focus so much on the intricacies of the guitar parts or doing anything like that. It gave me a lot more freedom to just have fun and to, enjoy it or go crazy or whatever I felt like doing, because I didn't have to focus so hard on what I was doing because it
Right.
get much easier. Whereas, I mean, I think the thing that probably comes the most naturally to me is still the drums. Like I can get behind a kit and just play. I've literally gone into, you know, hang out with friends of mine that are in different bands and things, and just like, you know, when they're in like a little downtime, get behind the kit and I just play, and they start jamming and I'm playing along. It's just something that flows naturally for me. But I think that the instrument that I tend to play the most these days is guitar. I starting out as a drummer, I kept finding myself pretty much in all the bands that I was getting involved in. I would almost inevitably always start out as a drummer for the band and then find myself writing material for the band and then eventually being like, look, it'd just be easier if I just switched to guitar and we brought in another drummer. Like it's too hard for me to explain. Like I don't have a lot of music theory background, so it's sometimes really hard to explain something that I figured out how to play or have written, because I'm like, I don't know how to tell you how to do this. Just watch, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
But so sometimes it's just easier to just do it myself, and in a lot of cases, that's what's happened. But yeah, so I think I can't say which one's my favorite, but you know, that's kind of my opinions on all of them. And I mean, things like piano is something that's kind of fun to just, you know, dink around on sometimes. You know, I'm definitely not a, you know, well-versed piano player by any means. I know you were expecting me to say that word, and I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. You low lifes.
No, man, piano's crazy.
No, but yeah, I mean, my mom plays piano, so I kind of grew up around it, and so I kind of learned basic chords and stuff,
Right.
you know, from watching her play. So I can fiddle around on one, but you know, and even that I like doing sometimes just to create ambience in a song. You know, I'll throw in some, you know, simple piano parts in the background or something.
Oh yeah, I've done it before.
You know, it's the same kind of thing. Once I got into, you know, when I started learning how to do recording and producing, I very quickly, you know, started learning how to do sequencing and programming and using synthesizers and all this kind of stuff. And which, for those who are at home listening, that's sad to say, most of what you hear on any recording these days.
Right.
Doesn't matter whether it's a quote unquote rock band or not. You're mostly hearing synthesized, at least emulated amps or something anymore these days.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of been a long journey of picking up all of these different things over the years and playing in different bands for a long, long time.
Oh yeah, you got a huge history. Like, that's not a bad thing, but you've been like, you know, the ropes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a nice way to say that you're getting old, man. Like, you know, when are you gonna let it go?
No, man, you should never let it go.
Yeah, I tried, man. Like, no BS. Like, every musician, and if anybody's listening to this who's a musician and is thinking this, and I think everybody who plays will at some point feel like this, which is you will reach a place where it seems like nothing is going for you at all, and it doesn't matter how hard you try, and you just get depressed or frustrated with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tried to walk away from it at one point. I think I walked away from it for about 3 years at one point, and I was miserable, absolutely miserable. I hated it, and I eventually was just like, I can't do this. Like, I have to go back to it. I have to keep doing it again. Like, I don't care whether or not I'm making it somewhere anymore. It's like, I just have to play. I have to write, you know.
Right.
And and if nothing else, I mean, as words of encouragement to anybody who might be listening, like, just stick with it. Trust me. Like, if you really are passionate about it, just keep going with it. Like, the only way that you fail is if you give up. I mean, and that's really what I felt like when I walked away. I was like, oh, now I really am the failure, you know. But, you know, I was like, no, screw this. I'm coming back. Like, I can't just sit here and not play. So,
Right. So you have, let me see here. I got the whole list here. I'm sorry. I just lost it.
It's okay.
Damn
There's
technology.
there's a ton of them if you're looking through the bands that I've been involved in over the years.
Yeah.
Goodness.
There's nothing. I've been in a lot of bands too. So
No, that's awesome. That's not.
yeah. But let's. So you got how many you got present? You got 1, 2.
There are two that are kind of officially still active.
Right.
That I'm still doing. I've been involved in several, but the two that are still, I guess you could say, still active are Eiros, which is a studio project thing that I started back in like 2014. Is something just to do something different. Like my idea. In fact, the interesting thing is when you listen to the songs on the EP that we released, like there's only 2 instruments that you're actually listening to. It sounds like there's a lot more, but I took a page out of Josh Scoggins' book and was like, I wonder what I could do with just 2 instruments.
Right.
Like, and because he's doing 68 now, which is just him and a drummer.
Oh,
and
God. Dude,
and
68's
it's like,
so good.
oh, 68's amazing. Like I'm still pissed at my brother because I didn't get a chance to actually go see them when they were playing down there with
Right.
with Every Time I Die and stuff. I was like, oh no, I couldn't make that. I did make the Ghost show though. I was glad to do that. Anyways, but yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna try to see if I can, because I had gotten used to writing stuff with your typical band setup, 2 guitars, a bass, drums, and vocals. And I'm like, I'm going to scale it down and see how creative I can get with just 1 guitar and a drum set and see what happens. And that's kind of where Eiros came from. Like, it was just like, let's see how creative I can get with just that. And, so it's, simple, just same kind of thing like Josh does, splitting to, a guitar and bass setup with a pitch shifter to pitch shift down a whole octave to give the bass. So it's, a little bit of technology involved in it, but it's still technically only 2 instruments. And it was a lot of fun to do. And then if I remember right, that EP, I think I wrote most of that in like, I want to say in like a week or 2.
Oh, really?
I don't think it took me that long to do it because it was just so simple, just 2 instruments.
Right.
I think the longest part of it, as is pretty usual for me, if I have to do vocals as well, like those are usually the last thing that I do is to sit down and write lyrics and, and do vocal stuff. And so I think that probably took the longest out of all the stuff for Eiros, was probably just sitting down and being like, okay, so what do I want to do with this lyrically? Like, this is something different. And so,
yeah, the Eiros, I was not expecting that. Like,
most people don't when you get a chance to hear it for the first time. It's kind of like I've talked to a few people that like listened to that first EP. They were kind of like torn as to whether they're like, I like it, but it's just so not what I was expecting. Like it's barely controlled chaos at moments, and then yet there's still melodies sometimes, that get thrown in, and you're just like, okay, where did that come from?
right.
Even when I was writing it, I'm just like, I don't even know where this is coming from. Like, just something different.
Nice.
Yeah, it's oh my God. Like, I was listening to it and I was like, this is not something I'd expect out of one person. Especially out of the Lafayette area. You don't hear things like this. Talking about Eiros. Yeah, because I was listening to it and I'm like, man, he really sounds like someone, which a lot of people don't like to compare themselves to other artists, but yeah, I was like, and then it finally hit me and I was like, he sounds like Chino from Deftones.
That's actually pretty fucking awesome, man, because like Chino has been an influence on me since I was a teenager. Like, I mean, Around the Fur is still one of my all-time favorite albums. Like that, I love that album. I mean, and I love all their albums, but like there was just something about that early Ceno that was just like, and I think it's because he wasn't afraid to just thrash his vocal cords.
Right.
You know, and of course, you know, eventually he had realized, oh shit, I need to back off a little bit because I'm gonna lose my voice completely if I keep doing this. But it was just so like raw and in your face, and I loved it. Plus, he was not afraid to like maybe not sing perfectly on key. Like he would kind of bend notes sometimes with his voice, like to where it's like, is he a little flat? Yeah, technically, but it still works. Like,
right.
And so it was, you know, and I love that, probably because I think that I'm not that great of a vocalist. So any excuse I can have to, you know, bend into sharp or flat, you know, I take it.
Yeah. I think the only other person that can do that is Ceno. So that's
well, if it's working and you know and people like it, okay, then I'll take that as a compliment.
Right. Yeah. I mean, oh man, like I can't even explain that to somebody. They would just have to hear it and be like, yeah, he's yeah, sounds like Ceno. I mean, you're your own person, but like Chino's one of the greatest out there. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I absolutely love that dude. Like the things that he's chosen to do at times are unexpected and sometimes just like, wow, like that was great. And I absolutely love like the emotion he puts behind stuff. Like right. you can feel it in his voice. He's not just singing to sing. Like he's trying to put something behind it, you know? And so with Eiros, I felt like, lyrically speaking, I wanted to do something that I hadn't really done before, which is take a more activist, social type point of view on lyrical content, and not necessarily like activist in the sense of like I'm you know trying to you know protest something or anything like that openly. It's more of like shining a light on social issues or on things that have been going around globally. And yeah, especially around that time. I mean, that was in 2014. So there's a lot of themes of things, of course, that were going on in, you know, some of the former USSR territories
right.
and things like that kind of shine in the lyrics here and there. It's just kind of my point of view on some of that and what I felt, especially at the time, about a lot of that stuff that's going on. Because I know some people in that area, so. It's kind of a touchy time at the time, and I'm just like, man, just
right,
you know, say something, you know. So I did. But yeah, the other project that I've still is active is something I've literally been doing since for 16 years now. Is this project I started called Remembering Elle, mm-hmm. which if you listen to that compared to like listening to Eiros, it's like almost night and day. There's a very drastically different sound, I think at least between the two bands. Remembering Elle, yet again, was another one of those that started out as just me needing an outlet at the time. I was involved in a band at the time, but some of the stuff that I was writing didn't really fit what we were doing. And so I kind of created this side outlet for it. And then it very quickly became like my audio diary, like, or journal. You know, it was like everything that was like personal in my life, that's where I would funnel it. Like so it's Remembering Elle is probably one of the most personal things of mine that I've done over the years.
Right.
You know, it's like if you want to know anything about me, really just read the lyrics over the last 16 years. I mean, and you will literally be able to track like where I was at in my life, what I was going through, the ups and the downs, everything. But that's another one of those projects that I've always just done everything. I've had other people here and there that have been involved in it over the years, including my brother, which you guys have talked to before. He's the guitar player for King's Gambit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And and he's helped me with stuff on that before. I mean, there's some old recordings. If you listen really closely, you might be able to hear him when he was like a teenager or preteen in the background singing, you know, stuff like that. And there was a song on, I think it was Yesterday's Winds and Tomorrow's Tears, which came out in 2006. So yet again, I'm dating myself. That he wrote all the music for. Like, I think he was like, I want to say I was like 13 or something at the time.
Oh wow!
And he wrote all the music for it, and I loved it. And then I just wrote lyrics for it, and it's on that album. But for the most part, it's just been me doing everything, and I kind of experimented with different ways of writing and recording with the band over the years. Everything from literally doing everything myself to, you know, so, like physically playing everything myself, or sometimes programming out things or whatever. I've tried all sorts of different, you know, experimented with different things. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, those are the two things that I have currently ongoing. There are some other things that I've got my hands in as well right now that are still not quite ready to be, you know, brought out yet. Right. With some other people and some things. I mean, I don't know how many people that are listening to this are gonna like know who I am or who I've played for or anything like that. But back in 2008, my brother and I and a good friend of ours, Nathan, started this like metalcore band called A Cold Dark Night, and we were together from 2008 until 2011. And we had a blast, but I mean, as with any band, you know, you've got your ups and downs, and you kind of start having issues internally and then external issues, and then it's just like all this stuff kind of comes together, and eventually you're just like, you know, we just got to stop this, like, right. You know, and that's kind of what happened with that. But just recently, about a week or two ago, we released a recently re-recorded song of ours that we had done back in I think 2009 was when we originally did it. And so there's been some activity with that. We're kind of throwing around some things possibly for next year, which will be the 10th anniversary of when we founded the band.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
So we'll see what happens there. As well as, I mean, many other things I've got my hands in right now.
Right. So
I sometimes lose track of what all I'm actually involved in right now. Like, it's pretty crazy.
So with Eiros, we're gonna feature one of the songs off the EP. It's called I'm probably
Moje Ceno.
Yes.
It's Serbian.
Okay.
It actually means my village in Serbian. But yeah, it's Moje Ceno.
You want to tell us what it's about?
It's kind of a weird story, but like, it started out as one thing and then kind of morphed like a third of the way through, like writing the lyrics, and I kind of just decided to go with it. Like, it's very much a commentary on some of the things that were going on in 2014, like in the Ukraine, and a lot of the stuff that was going on there at the time. With the rebellions that were going on and the fighting and all of that. And that whole area has been under turmoil for a long time. So it's kind of based on that, mixed a little bit with some commentary maybe on my own small hometown mixed in with it. So because I'm not originally from Lafayette. I currently live in Lafayette, but I grew up about 25 miles north of there, up in good old Delphi.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So yeah, which could probably explain a little bit more of how I ended up the way I did. But yeah, so it's kind of a mixture of that. But yeah, that's pretty much what that's about.
Okay. I always like to hear the backstories of the song. Basically to let everyone know what it's about, so when they hear it, they can possibly connect to it a little more. But let's check it out. Yeah, what was it called again? I don't want to say it wrong.
It's called Moje Ceno.
Moje Ceno.
Awesome.
All right, let's check it out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man, I actually haven't listened back through that in a while, so it's like, man, I'm listening to it. Man, how did I not just thrash my vocal cords? Whew.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I honestly don't.
It sounds awesome, though. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's not something you typically hear around here, honestly.
Well, that's a good thing, I hope.
Yeah, definitely. Because we were talking to our guests last week, and they're from the UK, and they were asking, around Lafayette what the usual local music is, and we're like, well, it's usually country and metal. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're talking
apart.
if you're talking about like live band performances, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think those are probably the most common. I mean, yeah, you do get a lot of like DJs and stuff too, but I mean, especially like, campus bars and shit like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, but yeah, I mean, the I mean, you've been a part of the local scene too for quite a while, and it's like it's not what it used to be. It's definitely not.
Not
Definitely
at all.
not.
And
What's your opinion? Why do you think that is? I guess.
I mean, there's a mixture of things. I mean, I have my opinions on it are might be a little biased in certain ways because I've, for one, been a part of it for a long time, and for two, I also have been involved in a short-lived but did exist venue for a short time back in 2010 in the area. But I think, honestly, I think a lot of it has to do, at least in the Lafayette area, a lot of it just has to do with, there's nowhere to play anymore.
Right.
Like, and there's different reasons for that. I mean, one of the things I can say, coming from primarily a heavier background in either playing in metal bands or hardcore bands or, screamo back when that was fashionable. Like, we unfortunately got lumped in to crowds that we shouldn't have been. And, I mean, I don't want to go too much into it, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of the listeners that are from the area will remember that there were some incidences that happened at a couple of venues a few years back, which ultimately led to closings of two of some of the largest, like I will say, more independently aimed venues in town. And unfortunately, a lot of our scene got lumped in with that. For some reason, maybe it's because they were all thinking, oh, well, these metal kids, these hardcore kids, all they want to do is run around and beat each other up in the pit. And that's, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, in all honesty, like 95% of the shows that either I was a part of as playing in a band that was playing, or that I promoted, or, the venue that I worked at for a while when we put on shows there, like 95% of the time, that stuff, you didn't have problems with fights. Usually it just didn't happen. Like, yeah, of course the pits get a little rough, but that's what happens. But anybody who goes down in there knows that when they go down in there, like, they're not stupid about it. And, upon occasion, you might get some punk ass kid who thinks he's going to take out his aggressions on, everybody, but they always got escorted out immediately. It was not. But unfortunately, a lot of venues and stuff in the area were like, we don't want this here because it's just, it's a liability. And I get that. Like I said, having been involved in a venue for a short time, like, I understand the liability factor. I understand all of that because it is true. I mean, insurance for events like that is fucking astronomical. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like, I've been promoting shows and doing stuff, I mean, since I was a teenager. And sometimes when you go to look at, like, renting a place that you want to put on a show, like, just the insurance for one night to cover the event that you're trying to do is, I remember, I think it was probably, I want to say it was early 2000s, probably 2002, 2003. I looked at putting on a show in my hometown in Delphi at the time, and one of the biggest kind of open areas that I was like, well, what we should do is maybe see about renting out the old middle school gym downtown, and at the time it was still owned by the Delphi School Corporation, and so I contacted them and was like, hey, I'm thinking about, renting this out because, lots of churches had rented it out for different events, and, other artists had rented it out for things. And so it wasn't, something that hadn't been used for that before. And they're like, okay, that's fine, but you need to have you need to have a $100,000 liability policy for the night. And I was like, okay. And then I researched how much it was going to cost me for a $100,000 liability policy at the time. And I was like, that ain't happening. It's just that's not going to happen. I can't afford that. I'm like 14 years old, 15 years old. Where am I going to come up with that money? Like, even pre-sales aren't going to cover that. Like, right. And then as I got older and got to know some of the people who have run the venues in this area, and anytime that, when I was playing in a band and we would go somewhere, I would talk to the promoters and I would talk to, the people that owned the bar or the venue or whatever, and kind of get to to know them a little bit. And I remember years ago when I was in A Cold Dark Night, we played a show. We had a show booked down at the Emerson Theater in Indianapolis.
Oh, nice.
And I've been lucky enough to have played on that stage like 3 or 4 times now. And it's surreal being there because I've seen so many of my favorite bands that, you know, growing up play that stage. And so like the first time I got on that stage, it was like one of those hallelujah moments, you know. It was just like,
Right.
This is so surreal. Like I'm standing on this same stage that I like remember watching, you know, Norma Jean play on, and like, you know, it's crazy. And knowing that bands like, you know, Love 'Em or Hate 'Em, you know, back when My Chemical Romance first started out, you know, they played the Emerson Theater. Like it's, you know, the history of that place. But I remember talking to the guy who owned it and was running it at the time, because we went down there and we actually weren't the headlining act. We were a supporting act. And the headliner was an out-of-state band who had booked it and whatever. And we got down there and the headlining band wasn't even there yet.
Right.
And they had called and said, oh, they had some car problems and they were running behind. And so the guy who was running the place was like, well, you know, he wasn't even letting us bring stuff in to like start backloading or anything yet. And, you know, it got down to where we were maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes before it was supposed to be started, and nothing's been loaded on stage, nothing. And there are 0 people outside. There's nobody there to see the bands. The only people that were there were the bands and, you know, their girlfriends or friends or whoever were helping them load in and out.
Oh, yeah.
That was all that was there. And the guy's like, look, I can't do this. Like, he's like, I admire what you guys, I've listened to your music, it's good, whatever. But he's like, I can't do this. Like, I can't put on a show for nothing. Like, just the cost of my electricity for the night just to have the PA turned on for 3 hours is ridiculous. Like, yeah. I can't afford to do this. And we were all just like, that's cool, man. You know, we understand it sucked for us because we lost out. You know, we all spent our own money to pay for gas and everything to drive down there.
Oh, yeah.
But we completely understood. And that's one of those things that I've, you know, in talking with lots of different venue owners have learned, you know, about that. And even, like I said, having put on shows myself and promoted and being a part of a venue, the venue that I was a part of, I wasn't in the booking side of it, but it was kind of a co-op of several partners that got involved, and each person had their own part that they played. And it was all volunteer. Everybody who was involved in it was all volunteer. And we didn't make a fucking dime. Like we made no money whatsoever. And not only that, like we ran into so much trouble with our quote unquote competition in town and even the city itself that, to be quite honest, like you would have to guarantee me like, you know, 6 figures for me to consider trying to do something like that again.
Right.
Like seriously in this town, because it was a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, so I give props to, you know, the guys, you know, that are running like the Lafayette Theater and stuff like that all of that. I give props to people like that, because it's tough here right now. Like it is not an easy thing. And I think that there seems to be this attitude, especially against, I don't know why, but against like modern music for the kids. I mean, like when I was involved in that venue back in 2010, mm-hmm. like the city, and I'm using the city as a general term right now, I'm not literally talking about the officials in the city at the moment, but the city seemed to not want us to be doing what we were doing. And our goal was to have a safe environment and an all ages place for these kids and adults and young adults to come, and would be a safe environment. Like there's, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. You know, the parents could drop their kids off there. I mean, we had like a little lobby area with like arcade games and stuff, and like a little, right. You know, all of that. We had that in the front. So like even when there weren't shows going on, the place was open for kids to come and kind of have a safe place to go and hang out with their friends and all of that. And we caught so much shit from the city and, you know, our quote unquote competitors about it, that it didn't last long at all. And, you know, it was quite irritating, to be honest. I mean, I was really quite appalled, honestly, at how little they cared. I mean, and I remember we even went on the local news at one point. We're talking about, this is a safe space for this place, for these kids, and it's an all ages venue and all of this stuff, and nobody cared. Nobody cared.
No.
And so it was just kind of like, why bother? And the sad thing I think about it is that some of us were talking on the last night that we were all involved in this place, and I can remember some people saying, the sad thing is that if we were to apply for a fucking liquor license and turn it into a 21 and up club, we would not have any issues.
Right.
Nobody would care.
No,
they would let us do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And it's like that. There's something back-ass words about that when you've got, people who are wanting to do something that's a positive thing to keep these kids from getting in trouble, give them a safe place to go, keep them from getting into drugs, keep them from, getting into, fights and all that kind of stuff, because they got a safe place to go and hang out with their friends and all this. And we were getting fought tooth and nail. And so it's like, the mixture of the local politics of things within the different venues, and now some of that has changed because, like I said, some of those venues don't even exist anymore.
Right.
So
unfortunately,
fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. And the sad thing too is that there's not a lot of synergy amongst the creative people in general here. I mean, and this is why I love what you guys have been doing. And I have been a fan. I've been listening, and, I subscribed a while back and had listened. Man. And I love it because you guys are supporting the local scene and not just picking on, one specific genre here or there. You are giving an open opportunity for everybody, in the area to have a chance to get their stuff out and to get heard and, be given a chance. And that's what we need more of, which is why, I'm extremely happy to see, like what Robert's doing, like with the Not Your Father's Hardcore Festival and things like that, because it's opening up and trying to create more of a synergy amongst these creative people.
Right.
Because especially right now with the environment being the way it is for music, nobody's going to survive, especially in, I like to call this area the black hole of creativity, because it doesn't seem like anybody ever gets out of here unless they literally get out of here.
Right.
Like, so, but there's so many great and extremely talented people here. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, I have met and played with some great musicians in this town and in the surrounding counties that just blow me away at how good they are. But nothing ever comes of it. like unless they leave and move to, Nashville or Chicago or something, like they just don't have a chance. Like, because the local community and the local scene isn't supporting itself like it should be.
That's what. And that's why I like doing this podcast, because like I don't get out and go to the shows much just because I work 6 days a week. Just between that and everything else, it's hard to go do them. Mm-hmm. But there are people that can get out and go more, and that's why I like doing the show and telling them about it, because you don't hear about them. You don't hear about some of these great bands that are playing. You don't really. There's not like a. It's hard for anybody to really see what's going on, it seems like.
Yeah.
Before we started doing this, I didn't hear much about a lot of bands playing. Right. Unless I had a friend in the band.
No, I mean, yeah, it's sad because people weren't really promoting.
There's
nobody was promoting, and there's not really, like I said, there's nowhere really for anybody to play. I mean, like, you get places, and like I said, as much as I love what they've done with the Lafayette Theater, they're a little too big for smaller up and coming acts. Like, yes, they do their local showcases and things like that, and what they've done, with partnering like with the Doom Room and things like that has been great too.
Yeah.
But it's like, in general, just like the guy that used to run the Emerson, it's like they've got their expenses. They've got to be able to cover that stuff. And you can't just have a bunch of unknowns coming in that's not going to generate any kind of income, even just to break even and pay for keeping the lights on, you know? So the days, and you guys might remember like some of the small places like Downtown Records.
Oh yeah.
And of course the Skylight, like the Skylight was like the smallest place in the world here in town, but it was so much fun.
Can I ask you something about the Skylight?
Uh-huh.
Did you guys ever have to move that huge ass piano off the little stage?
Oh, fuck yes. Oh, God, I hated that piano so much.
I got roped into that one day somehow.
Oh, my. Yeah, Grant did it once, and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. God, we had to do... It got to the point where we were like, dude, we just gave the stage to the drummer, and then we would just step down.
Yeah, that's what we would do, too. I mean, of course, like, the band I was in at the time was a screamo-ish band called Our Hero Returns, and we would just set our drummer up on that stage and set our cabs on the floor. And, what was worse is like the bathrooms, of course, were in the back and you had to like walk through the stage area.
So it's behind the stage,
you'd be rocking around, like literally, yeah. I'd be like rocking around, swinging my guitar, all like, early Norma Jean-esque style, swinging my guitar. And I like narrowly miss some like 14-year-old girl who's walking back to go use the washroom, and I'd be like, oh shit, I'm sorry, and it's like you're constantly tripping over cables and like it was a blast.
Awesome.
I mean, I remember we played that place one time and we completely packed that, and not that it takes much to pack that place out, but all the way out the front door, outside, like, and it was crazy, like how many people. I mean, obviously well above fire code, but I mean, we would just cram that place. I mean, in Downtown Records, like every time I drive down that street, I get a tear in my eye for that place, because
that was the place to go.
Downtown Records was amazing.
And that place has sat empty for almost 9 years now.
Wow,
8 years.
Really?
And well, maybe not that long. Let's see.
I didn't know it was empty.
It's been about 9. It's been about 9 years, because I think it was like 2008, 2009 when they shut it down, and it's been empty ever since.
Wow.
Like nothing has been in there.
What a shame. That was a cool venue because you had the stage down below.
Yeah,
you could
had
go
the
up.
balcony.
Yeah, you had the balcony. You go upstairs and you could be up at the balcony.
Of course, we always had to try to keep kids from jumping off the balcony and shit. Our show, but like, but yeah, I mean, I had so many great memories of playing in that place, and that place supported the local scene, like, a lot. And that stuff just doesn't exist anymore, It's sad, although I'm glad to see people like you guys and a lot of these. There is a group of local bands that are starting to attach to each other and support each other more and things, which is good to see. And I hope that it keeps growing like that, and we can bring back the scene like it was 10 years ago. Because I mean, there was nothing like. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, there would be like sometimes upwards to like 3 or 4 shows going on downtown around the square at a time, in these little storefronts and stuff. Like,
yeah, you used to just go, like, you wouldn't know what was going on. You'd go to Downtown Records and see what the show was, or you'd go to the Skylight or something and see what was going on.
Exactly, and that's gone now. We don't have that.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I've already kind of discussed my opinions as to why I think that is to some degree, but so it's good to see that the up and coming bands are binding together again. They're starting to work more at creating relationships and creating a synergy and networking with each other and trying to support each other and bringing each other onto each other's shows. I mean, and the thing is that the Lafayette community is starting to, like, the bands in this area are starting to network with bands in Indy and bands in Chicago and bands in Wilmington and, and Cincinnati and Peoria and, and St. Louis. And it's starting to kind of all interconnect itself a bit more, which I'm glad to see, and I hope that it keeps going that way.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, because when Downtown Records was a thing, we'd have people come through that were the little bit bigger bands.
Yeah, like
but the local guys would get on it, and
you guys would hate. I don't know if I should even tell you who it was that we were supposed to be bringing through the venue I was working for, right before we closed.
Don't say Nickelback.
Foot for Face.
Foot for Face.
Yeah, that was something that Corey Taylor had said recently about good old Chad Kroger. That he has a face for foot for a face.
They got like some huge feud going on.
Oh, it's been hysterical. Although I
yeah.
have to say that Corey has been going way too easy on him.
Oh yeah,
because I've seen what Corey can do, and he can rip people apart in seconds. And he has been going easy on Chad.
yeah.
But,
well, he's fragile. He's a fragile little guy.
Well, now I gotta know what was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what started it originally.
Oh
like,
no. What band were you gonna bring in? You said...
the band I was gonna bring in was it wasn't just me. It was people within the thing. We had actually had on the schedule we were going to be bringing through Devil Wears Prada.
Oh,
and this
man.
This was back. This
broke
was
my heart.
This was back in 2010 when they were still hot.
Oh, yeah,
hot.
Yeah,
oh, man.
And we were working with them about getting them to come through. And the place that we were running was pretty small, but it would have been just incredible to have.
It would have been packed.
Yeah, oh yeah. It would have been a mess, but it would have been awesome.
Yeah. Would have been a hot mess.
Literally.
So you have you're also got this current project going, Remembering Elle.
Yeah, current ongoing has been for about 16 years. Yeah,
16 years. What started Remembering Elle? I know we were touching on it a little bit earlier, but
it like I said earlier, it was just kind of a side outlet for things that I was doing at the time that weren't fitting the current band that I was in. And so it was like stuff that was maybe a little more mainstream sounding, or, you know, a little more, I don't know, like it just things that I felt like weren't fitting with what I was doing with this other band. I started kind of funneling into that. And then, like I said, it became kind of my diary where I was just started like letting out all of it became my therapy, honestly. Like I just started like letting everything out through that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
but Remembering Elle, is that all you as well, or was there?
Yes, everything in it is me. Aside from there have been, like I said earlier, there's been some times when I've had other people involved in it over the years, but for the most part, it has been me playing everything and writing everything. So what you hear in the recordings is all me.
Awesome.
It's like, what would happen if it was a band of nothing but Zacks?
See, there's been times where I'm like, man, if I just had like 4 more of me, I could
there's
do so
an
much.
upside and a downside to that, though. Like, there's an upside.
Do you think there'd be creative differences if you had like 4 more of yourself?
I have creative differences with myself constantly. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
so the song you're gonna feature, wait, you said you were actually working on new stuff for Remembering Elle.
yes,
right?
and that is actually, there's kind of a surprise for your listening audience here. I know I had heard there was like you guys had caught a little bit of flack for, you know, maybe not having music or something last time. I don't know, was it?
Yeah, last week we did our first live stream because we're trying to get used to everything, because we have this big live stream coming up on August 25th where there's going to be multiple guests and giveaways and all that stuff. So we're trying to get comfortable with it. So last week we didn't do the interview online, and then people were like, "Hey, I thought this was a podcast about music." And
well, you gotta love those people on the interwebs, like,
right?
You know, they are always very opinionated.
I also got busted because I was working the chat while Grant was talking to a guest we had on, and I said ha 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 ha, and then they said, "You didn't laugh. You just typed ha ha." Like it was funny.
Yeah, but let's be
so
honest,
used to,
people.
Right.
Let's be honest. Who actually laugh out loud when you put LOL? Everybody just does it.
Which, you know, I had to give it to them. They got me. I mean, internally I was laughing, but I'm just so used to being behind the screen.
We all wear masks, and
you know, talking through glass. So
yeah, you're our first live interview.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's pretty awesome. Well, in talking with you a little bit earlier today about doing this, I thought, you know, well, to kind of help you guys out a little bit, I was thinking, you know, let's do something a little special for your audience, like something that's not expected. And so I sent you guys something that nobody has publicly heard yet.
Oh.
There are maybe 4 or 5 individuals who have heard it, but this is the first new Remembering Elle music since 2009. If I'm correct, I don't think I've put out anything new that it wasn't a cover or something like that.
So this is pretty exclusive, huh?
Yes, this is actually completely exclusive to you guys. You guys are the only ones who are going to have this right now. It's not available anywhere else currently. It's this, so if anybody who's listening to this, wants to hear it again, they're just going to have to replay the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
the only
pretty
way
cool,
they're
man.
That's the only way they're going to get to hear it.
So what's the song called?
The song is called Dissoudre Lamour, which is French, and I know my French is horrible, absolutely horrible.
Better than mine.
But leave it to me to like decide to try to like be creative and write all of my titles in French for what I'm working on right now. No, the lyrics aren't in French, thank God.
That would be impressive.
No, I'm not that gifted. Not that gifted. But yeah, so it's this is going to be an absolute exclusive for you guys and your audience. You get to stream this new Remembering Elle song for the first time.
That's awesome.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Senseless words are mired in disgrace, and nothing seems to take away this pain we face. Another day, blinded by the rage, sitting in this cage. Restless me. Are my senses to blame? Or have I really been this dumb? Would you please explain just what the fuck I did to make you change? Was it all of me? Was it none of you? Was it all of you and none of me? Was it all of me? Was it none of you? Now tell me, what am I supposed to do? I'm begging for a life is calm again. I'm begging for this tonight.
Hell yeah.
Woo-hoo! Oh man.
Yeah, well, it's that. You guys literally are the first people to listen to this. Like,
Oh man.
That was awesome.
That's what we need around here, man.
Right?
oh, thank you very much.
Oh man.
If you were on the video, we'd tell you to take a bow. But
I am taking a bow right now. You just can't see it. So,
Oh, love it. Love it. We need more of that.
yeah. Well, thank you. And I guess a little bit more of information about that is there will be more coming. I'm actually in the process of finishing up some stuff for another release. Haven't quite, let it be known whether or not it's going to be an EP or a full length yet. We'll leave that one till maybe later, and we'll see. But there will be more new Remembering Elle stuff coming out. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now.
good. Good. We need more of that.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, man, we've had you on for over an hour. I know you've being on the phone. That's a long talk on the phone.
Oh, no, not with me, man. I'm gifted with the gab. I will talk and talk and talk until I pass out. So, and anybody who knows me will completely attest to that.
Right.
And most of them are just like, "Oh God, will you just shut the fuck up?" Like, we've heard this story, Dickman.
Oh, now people know your last name.
Oh,
That's
most
okay.
people know it anyways.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just most of the time I just put it in as Zach D because like I said, I'm 32 years old. I've gone through getting shit for my last name
You've
my
heard it
life,
all.
and so for one thing or another. And yes, it is real. It really is. But I like to use it to my advantage, though. I'm just like, yeah, you know what that means.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on at the last minute. Not a lot of people can get that done. So, yeah, hats off to you, man.
It was no problem, man. None at all. I'm honored that you guys reached out and wanted me to be a part of this. I mean, I am a fan, so like it's nice to help be a part of this. I think we all need to join together more and help each other out. Like that's what this area
Yes.
needs. That's what the scene needs. That's what everybody here needs. Is
Not a competition.
No, not at all. Because the truth is it's like the people that are right now with the Camp Marvel or Camp DC. DC. It's like it doesn't matter. Like the truth is one side does good, it helps the other side.
Right.
Like if you've got. I hear about that all the time when talking about these comic book movies, where it's like nobody really in the studio world wants any comic book movie from any studio to do bad right now, because then that's going to hurt all of them.
Exactly.
So, it's the same mentality that we need to have in music. Is like, if you are trying to create feuds, it's not going to help. I mean, in some ways, it might help for clickbait and shit, but like, let's be honest, like most people these days, like, even though, yes, I'm guilty, I fall for it too sometimes, but it's like most people are just, they see a clickbaity headline and they're just like, really, move on.
Right.
Like, it's just annoing.
Maybe
So,
that's the biggest problem is it's popular to talk shit about somebody else now. Like,
maybe, I don't know. Like, I mean, of course that could be because it's all the way from the top, but we're not gonna go into that.
Right.
But anyways,
Yeah. Let us know when you get
Cheatings.
some. When you get, if you're ready to drop another single
definitely.
for Remembering Elle.
I will definitely let you guys know. And as of for right now, you guys are going to be the only ones who have that, at least for a while. So if anybody wants to check it out, they're going to have to listen to this podcast to hear it.
awesome.
That's amazing, man. Can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah, dude.
Well-
your talent, you got a lot of talent. So,
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
yeah, I mean, so thanks for coming on, man. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It was great talking to you. So
I feel like I should, like, I don't know,
Can we do like a virtual hug? Is that a thing?
Virtual hug, like a virtual hug. Well, see, the thing is, I'm actually watching your live stream right now,
okay.
so I can actually see
we can
you
be like,
guys. You guys can't really see me right now. So it's kind of unfair. Like, I mean, little did he know that I'm sitting here in my underwear. But anyways,
Hey, me too. You can't see me.
yeah, you
from the
can't see
waist
underneath
down.
the table.
well,
man.
you guys keep up the good work and keep fighting the fight for us, man. Like, we need more people supporting these bands, and you guys are doing a hell of a job of it so far. So
Thank you.
Thank you. We're trying.
thank you.
Man.
As being a local musician, it means a lot. So
Awesome, man.
Absolutely. All right, man. We'll let you go. Let us know when you get some new material. And we'll get you back on, man.
will do. I will gladly appear anytime you want me.
Awesome.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Yeah, a lot of talent. If you want to hear more of the Eiros stuff, you can find them at eirosofficial.bandcamp.com.
And we'll put the link up for spelling and everything so that you can find it.
Right. Yeah, there's some older, hold on. He sent me the link. He has, if you want to hear more of the older, he says he has more of the Remembering Elle stuff. It's just a little older. So if you want to hear more of that, it's reverbnation.com/remembering Elle. So
Hell yeah.
go check those out. God, it's like 2 different genres that he just wrote EPs for. That's crazy. That's awesome. That's crazy awesome. That's crossum.
See, it came back to that same problem. Is it's an awesome dude with awesome music, or is it an awesome music by an awesome dude?
Yeah. Just
That was wrong. That's not what I said before.
no.
Is it an awesome dude with great music, or is it a great dude with awesome music?
Both. Just go with both. That's the safe bet. So we're actually gonna have another guest on.
We are.
As far as I know, he's ready and set up to go.
I'm sending him a message right now.
Yeah, just
I don't
double
know
check.
if he's in the live, if he's watching this right now, but I'm gonna send you a message. But then you'll probably see the message before you see
Well,
this.
we can check here really quick. You're gonna hear a bunch of mouse clicks because it's the world's loudest mouse. But hey, it works, right?
Clickety clackety click.
Click clack, clickety clack. Yeah, extremely professional. Yes, he is watching. So
We can see you.
yeah, we can see you, man.
He says he's ready.
He's ready. All right, incoming phone call. We're gonna talk to Summit City Live, and you're gonna hear all about that. It's a great opportunity.
Oh man, I gotta find him on Skype again.
Oh, no,
Let's see history. Oh, there he is.
There we go.
It says he's offline. Hope he's online.
Are you lying to us?
Hey, buddy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there you are.
Awesome. There we go.
What up, dude?
And let me meet your stream real fast.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
By the way, are you playing a metronome? Or is that
It's Logic. It's default does a metronome countdown when you hit record.
I was just making sure it wasn't me.
You know, you can unclick that and it won't do
I
it.
know, but I kind of like it because now, like when I hit record, you can hear it and you know that I
that's
started.
True. That's true. Instead of just jumping in, it cuts off like the first 4 words.
Anyways.
So that was that Remembering Elle? Was that the name of the band?
Well, he has Remembering Elle, and he has
Yeah, he actually has 2 projects. He has the Remembering Elle, which was the last song that we played, and earlier we played a song from his other project called Eiros.
Yeah. I unfortunately I only got to catch Remembering Elle, and oh my god, like
Right?
holy crap. So I guess as I go into what Summit City Live is here in a minute, or whatever, I just want to say that I really hope that they play shows because I definitely want them on.
Well, I'm guessing we should probably
Yeah, we can
give you guys each other's contact
Oh, yeah.
information.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think that's how this works. Is we're supposed to
Yeah, we're supposed to relay contact info.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely doing your part for for the local music scene already.
We're trying.
Trying
Be
to
in the
make the
medium.
connections. So joining us live, everybody already knew it was live. I don't know why I said that. Joining us on the phone is Darren from Summit City. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well for the most part. I've been working all day, setting up for Neon Summer, or fall, summer, fall. What season is it?
Summer? Yeah, summer.
So
We're in summer right now.
For an EDM show here in Fort Wayne at Headwaters Park tomorrow. I was freelancing with a company called TNT all day, or TNT Sound. You know, it's a pretty bass heavy show, so it's kind of fun. However, I'm not working it. Just went to lend a hand. Got kind of a lot on my plate right now. So, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything's going really good. Trying to get some last minute graphics built. I say last minute, even though like my next show is like the 12th, I believe, is the next one with Indian Old School, band out of Indy or Muncie. It's just there's a lot going on between my full time job. I coming off of a week where I worked like 101 hours and then like went right into a full like 40-hour week. So I'm tired, but everything is awesome.
So, man, tell us a little bit about Summit City Live and what you guys got going on.
Okay, so Summit City Live, you know, I am the founder. I don't really have too much help as of yet, except for a guy out of Chicago named Brendan. Got my buddy Carlos, who's kind of doing my web design right now. And then I've got a guy named Zach, who's kind of pseudo booking for me right now. He's just a really connected dude, and I wish I could remember the bands that he used to be in because he was in some good ones. But aside from that, I'm the only one here on location, like slaving away. But what it is it's I guess what I hope it to be more of in the future is a online virtual venue sort of thing, where we do like a showcase for bands. And we have one show under our belt, and then we've got the next 2 months booked every Saturday. So we're kind of still up in the up and coming stages of it. It's you know it's fun. It's really fun. The response off the first one was better than I could have hoped. I work for a company, production company / AV integrations company, full time, and they've been gracious enough to rent me out the warehouse for it. And give me access to all of our gear. So it's nice to be able to really showcase these bands with like really high quality equipment. So it really makes the job easy, and not easy, but more rewarding than like setting up shop with you know, small, just I guess lower quality gear, I guess. I mean, you can do anything with anything if you're good enough and have like you know, the right mindset going into it. But I mean, there is something to say for like good preamps and good microphones and
for sure,
good video especially. I cannot believe how expensive video equipment is. It is ridiculous. It's almost not even fair.
Yeah. That's where it gets expensive.
Oh, so fast.
Like at least 2 or 3 times more than audio, it seems like.
Oh yeah, when you start getting into like the world of like HD video cameras that actually shoot in like a high bit rate, that are actually meant for video, that it's not just like a DSLR camera. I mean, even DSLR, but it gets nuts.
All right. So you sent us some pictures of your warehouse and everything, and it's pretty sweet. Like, and I've seen some of your videos. So is it just straight online streaming? Like you're doing a whole like live video performance for the band? So
yes, it's I want it to be as much like a concert as it can be without actually, you know, being at a concert. Mm-hmm. You know, I actually like, there are other people who are doing this. It isn't like a new idea by any means, but I really go the extra mile to like pull out all the stops for like audio, video, lighting, graphics.
Right.
Yeah, I want that total immersion with the viewer, but at the same time, I want to open up that channel for the viewer to interact with the band like between songs. So on top of it being a concert, it's also like, you know, you can communicate with the band real time live, and it's a fun thing. I mean, I don't ever want it to be like extremely serious and like not, you know, if it starts to be like not fun and like I start losing like crazy amounts of sleep over it, just, you know, it I don't know. I mean, it is worth it still. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of work to do it, but
Yeah.
and
I think it's an awesome idea.
so
like-
yeah.
I think it's cool that like you can have a band come in, and you know somebody that couldn't afford or couldn't make it to the show can watch them do their full live performance with all of your equipment or like the visual effects and everything else, and get the full experience at home, and that's awesome.
Right. I mean, and I even go like a step further than that, and like all the content that I generate, you know, the band is 100% welcome to it, provided, you know, they allow me to still archive to YouTube.
Right.
That's the big thing is like, you know, it does cost money to put on these shows,
Right.
out of my pocket, which, you know, somebody asked me how much I was charging for their band to play. I'm like, I would never charge a band to play. Like, that's not what I'm about. Like, that's not what I want to be about ever. You know, I want to provide you a place where you can come in, do your set, you know, interact with the viewers, show them who you are, on both like a showmanship level and personal level. You know, because a lot of people have this like weird like grandiose notion that like people in bands like aren't people. They're like, I don't know, they're just people. A lot of them are talented, yeah. Like, well, most of them are more talented than I am. But yeah, I mean, it's just I want it to be like the full package where it's like, you know, I want it to become like a great outlet that's just like able to be used by everybody, the viewer and the band included.
Right.
You know, it's another place where you can play your music, but instead of like having to like go out to a bar, or like maybe you're not old enough to go out to a bar, or, you know, it's right there in the comfort of your own home, you know,
Yeah.
worldwide.
And it's a cool way to show off bands that maybe don't get to bigger venues or don't have the I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Like they like a band can come in and get this full production value and get this awesome show produced on your stage and get it out there on the internet. And they might not get that at like the smaller venues that they normally play at. Like, so if they're going to like a bars and playing that kind of stuff, and they're a great band, but they don't get like that, hey, look what we can do. We sound awesome. We can put on an awesome show, but we might not be getting booked at like arenas or something, but
Right.
we're awesome and we can do that kind of stuff. Check it out. Like, I don't know really what I'm trying to say, but it's like you can do so much with that, like with what you're doing. There's so much that can be done, and to show off these musicians that need that kind of help. So
Right. Yeah. That's definitely the goal. It's weird to like talk about it and put it into words. It's like I know what I'm doing, but it's so hard to like explain it, because like even the bands are like, what is this? This is crazy. I've never heard of anything like this available to a small band like us. You know what I mean?
right.
And it's like, you know, I reach out to these bands personally, like mostly through Facebook, which it is so nice nowadays for bands to have like social media like at their fingertips. Like, I remember like growing up in New York, even like to get somebody booked, you'd have to like wait a long time to like get a response, or you know, the show would end up being like just like flyers, you know what I mean? And like half the people wouldn't even see the flyers. And it's like now even like me, for like me pushing things like Facebook analytics and Instagram and Twitter. It's like I see how many people like these posts like reach, and it's nuts. Um, it reaches a lot of people that like I guess don't really click on it, but still it's reaching them. And I mean,
Right.
a lot of people like it's like the cool thing to hate social media, but you know we all use it, and it's pretty great. So,
Right.
Yeah, it's great, but aggravating at the same time.
it's aggravating on a personal level. From like the business level kind of thing, I enjoy it.
Right. I really only use it for our podcast anymore. Like I don't even post things personally on Facebook or anything else.
My big thing is like I'll like just kind of like go through like the news feed like when I'm like laying on the couch or something, and like I'll like start to doze off with my phone in my hand, and I'll end up like sad facing it like my friends' like engagement photos or like 'cause that stupid like reactionary like
Well,
system that they have now.
It always is sad when a friend gets married.
What's really bad is when you start like laughing at like the Sarah McLachlan commercial that somebody like reposted for the 100th time.
Yeah.
Those commercials are torture.
I know. I used to have a friend. She had this like mixed something or other, and that dog just always looked so sad. Like it just had like a sad face. And, like there's actually a picture on my Facebook in my Facebook pictures with it, and it just looks so sad. But it was like she took really good care of it. But it's just kind of funny. But, like we always call it the Sarah McLachlan dog. That was sidebar. Sorry. That went nowhere. No, but going back to like the whole music scene in Indiana, like as I was talking to you guys before, like I'm not originally from here. Like I did most of my growing up in New York, and then I moved to like Dallas. Spent a little bit of time in North Carolina, then went back to Dallas, and then here. So like I've seen quite a few scenes, or different. I've seen like the same scene in like a bunch of different areas would probably be more accurate. But as like somebody who is like more of like an interloper and like would just go to these things and stuff, it's like I feel like this is like how I give back in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I'm in a totally new area, and it's like I'm basically throwing myself like at the mercy of like networking with a lot of these people, and then I'm also using what I do professionally as a medium for like the scene that is apparently starting to come back, which is great. A lot of these bands that I've been meeting, it's like such like an undiscovered like gem. I feel like around here, like you would never think that some of these bands exist in Indiana.
Right.
From an outside perspective, I know that's probably kind of offensive to a lot of people that are born and bred Hoosiers, but
I don't think so because before doing this podcast, you don't hear about these people like Zach that we were just talking to. I never heard of his stuff before we did this podcast, and he's amazing because people just don't share the stuff or something. I don't know what's going on. But,
they keep it for themselves, damn it.
so, I don't know what the deal is, man. When I was in high school, like we were talking about the venues around here that used to be here, and when we were in high school and we would go to these shows, it was so much better. And now it's like the venues are gone, but it's not just that the venues are gone; it's the people just seem like they don't want to do anything about it. I don't know.
Right. I wonder if that's like just like an age thing, like a generational thing, because it's like New York, it was like awesome from like 2004 to like I left in 2009, but it was still going pretty strong. I have no idea where it's at now. I know like heroin is a pretty popular thing out there now.
I mean it is here too. So
Heroin, New York, meth, Indiana.
Heroin's pretty strong here too.
So it's pretty. The scene is it's great that it's picking back up. It's something I want to hear, not because I just want to have everybody on my show, but like it's great to be starting this and then like hear that a lot of these people are still out here, still, you know, grinding away at it. So hopefully it, you know, it grows into something that like puts it on the map. Like who knows, maybe we'll have like another like Midwest emo revival like happen here.
Yeah,
which,
that'd be pretty sweet.
which happened already, but
Which was emo getting to the Midwest. It wasn't really a revival for us.
It just got here slower.
oh, I mean, some of the stuff that's coming out of Illinois, like the mathier side of like the emo movement or whatever. I mean, that stuff's been going since like the early '90s, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, something needs to change. I wish I had money. I'd open a venue, but I don't have money, so.
That's always on my list to do.
Right.
Open a venue, then open a bar. And name it Puzzles.
That's the thing is a lot of the bars try to kind of be venues, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, they do, but they make bands play so late in the night. They'll make them start at like 10 or 11 o'clock, and by that time everybody's trashed.
Well, that is 21 plus, or it's
true,
or whatever.
And then everybody leaves, and then you don't have a pickup again until like 2 a.m., and that's when the band's done playing.
Yeah.
So nobody sees these bands when they play at the bars.
Right. I mean, there is always like the DIY house option.
True.
Which is
that's where you come in, right?
In a sense, it's more of a DIY warehouse with a crap load of gear option, but it's a little bit of an unfair advantage if you look at it from that standpoint, which I totally recognize, and I'm not putting any. It's not like a nanny kind of thing, you know. It's
I mean, it's awesome what you're doing.
So I just know like in like Denton, which is like 30 miles out of Dallas, big college town. There's house venues galore out there. It had like Macaroni Island, Gatsby's Mansion, which are both closed. Gatsby's Mansion just closed. I think their last show actually hasn't happened yet, but it's really sad that's coming to an end. They're the owner of the property has like sold it, and they're gonna actually bulldoze the house and put like a 7-Eleven or something there.
Of course.
Which isn't fair because there's one already on that block. So, welcome to Texas.
See, like, we're starting to get some of it back. Like, the Doom Room, those guys, it's a house.
Yeah.
They've been working with the Lafayette Theater, which is a bigger venue, but he also does this at his house. The Doom Room started in a house, and he still does shows there. And like this guy that's doing the Not Your Father's Hardcore, I think this is the first show, isn't it? That he's doing.
No.
Oh, this isn't the first one?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to sound like that.
That's
not the first show. No.
I just started seeing a bunch of stuff about it. I thought he just started it.
Yeah, it was last year too, but I'm not sure if he did it a year before that too.
Oh, so it's a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just didn't catch it last year. Okay. I thought it was like, oh, there's shows going on there all the time. I'm just an asshole and I don't see it.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple up here in Fort Wayne house venues, but from my understanding, it's they're taking a little bit more seriously. Like there's somebody's homes, like, you know, they don't just like keep the door open for open invite kind of thing, like Gatsby's and Macaroni, where like sometimes you'd have 60 people pile into this garage, and like the garage isn't open from like the outside, so like people actually go through the house to get out there, and it's just like, who are these people? I've never seen them before, but that's okay, because I mean, like the 12 people that live there, like it was a punk squat, but I mean it was like totally respectful. Like nobody's like breaking stuff, or I mean sometimes you had a couple like incidents where it's just like, all right, it's time to go kind of thing. But I don't know, you cram like 60 people in a garage and like have a mosh pit, like, oh my god, it's one of the coolest things you can be involved in. Like
I don't know what I'm thinking. I should talk to Austin about getting the Eagles Club to do.
There you go.
Do something. It's actually a decent venue.
Is it really?
I mean, yeah, it's got a full They call it the ballroom. We could move all the fucking tables out of there. And it's a big building. And it's a bar. But it's also, you can be under 21 and be in that ballroom.
Right.
So you could get both crowds. You just need a band. Normally the bands that come in there are like for old people, like in their 70s. Like, like it's usually just like
turn it off. It
it's
hurts
usually
my
like,
ears.
It's usually like cover bands that do old
Yeah.
crap and they line dance, and that's about all they do normally. But they could be so much more because we can do public events. You can do so many public events in a month,
Right.
so you could get bands in there.
So for Summit City Live, for the people that want to get involved, so basically what I'm going to say is, give us a rundown from start to finish how you would work with the band.
Okay. So right now I'm working on a document that's kind of an outline that every time I look at it, I keep finding another flaw or keep thinking of another bit of information just because I want to have all the bases covered. So I end up
Right.
reaching out to them on Facebook with this like huge wall of text. In which case I add another paragraph where I apologize that I don't have this in document form yet. We're still in beta. But so basically it's, I reach out to them like, hey, I've found you guys in this place and really like what you're doing. I wanted to extend a invite to you to come play my show. We basically what it is I keep saying online virtual venue, but it's getting kind of played out. It's basically a live stream show where you play a set, you interact with chat. The chat has the ability to give you do donations. We'll post your links for discovery. We also have $1 million worth of gear that we record you on, and you're welcome to any of that media that we generate. And we do like a YouTube archive, which has got I think we're up to 9 followers, 9 subs now. So we're
More than us.
we're moving right along. So, but we've only got one show under our belt. First show was a band called Bloodlines. They were very, very good to work with. I couldn't have asked for a better first band. They're a band out of Muncie, all female group. They do a lot of work for camps and things to get more women into music, which I think is awesome. I think that's something I would like to see more of, is more female musicians. There's throughout my time really enjoying music, I think I've liked the majority of the females that I've seen in music, even grindcore. I know of a grindcore band out of Dallas, and God, they're sick. What do they call it? They're like a TBA, I think is their name, because they don't actually have a name. Or maybe they just decided that was their name. I don't even know if they're still around, but I mean, this was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl in that band, man, she slays some vocals, so which is pretty awesome. But yeah, as far as what else, it's just kind of send me your logo, send me some band pics so I can build your promotional material. Now, I don't know if I should say this, but I've started moving into building graphics for the bands during the show, and then they can take those with them as well. So if they play a show that has an LED wall or something, they can add those to their set, kind of thing.
Right.
However, that's a totally time permitting thing. It takes so long to make motion graphics, it's ridiculous, and I am not good at it. So I design a lot in CAD for my job.
Oh yeah.
But which it's editing or building in a 3D space, which I get. However, animating in a 3D space from geometry is the most difficult thing I think I've ever tried to do in my life. So yeah, I build graphics, but they're not very good. They're pretty subpar. So, I don't know. It's just like that one more element, extra mile kind of thing.
Right.
And the biggest thing is like I don't want to own any part of the band. You know what I mean? Like everything I do, I want to make available for the band so that they can, continue to use, their Summit City Live experience and grow from it. Because today it's like nobody cares unless your content is competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're going to go to the sleeker thing. They're going to just be drawn to the more just put together thing, and it's just that's what I'm really trying to do is like give the bands the edge, which them playing like a house show or a bar, or hell, some of these bands like can't even play a bar because they're too obscure, and like I would never turn anybody down based on their obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, since my platforms they've got terms of service, I mean I can't like have like a nudist band or a band that's like pro hate or something like that.
Right.
Given that their art is their art in their own right.
Right.
But I don't necessarily agree with every band that I'm going to book. Their message, but it's their message.
Right.
So.
Sorry. We'll definitely put all your information out with the show and everything. And I think it's awesome what you're doing. Like that's really cool. I hadn't heard of it before we met you and started talking to you, and I think that's an awesome thing. Like the whole virtual concert experience. That's really cool. So
I think it's absolutely wild, and like during our conversations, it's kind of funny that none of us have brought this up, but it's kind of wild that I kind of just like stumbled into your room, your first Twitch stream, and it's
I know.
You're like what 40 minutes from me?
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to be down there. I'm actually going to be down there on Monday, working in that theater I was telling you about. I don't know if it's the same theater, but I've got a bunch of like their snakes and stuff to repair, and then I'm going to be demoing a console for them. So.
Oh, nice.
Just wanted to give a last show notes that, just shout out. Thanks again to Zach for coming on. You can find his, he's got 2 projects, the Remembering Elle and the Eiros. You can find Remembering Elle at reverbnation.com/Remembering Elle. And you can find Eiros on eirosofficialbandcamp.com. Definitely go check them both out. God, that kid's so talented. It's amazing.
And if you've been listening this long, go on iTunes, subscribe to the podcast. Live episode August 25th on Twitch. We've been, if you've been one of the few people watching us on Twitch up until then, thank you. But we'll be live with a bunch of guests then, so check it out.
A bunch of performances, prize giveaways, and for the early viewers, there's going to be a special prize giveaway.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Can I
Grant
win
doesn't even know.
Am I eligible?
No.
Oh. All right. So thanks everyone for listening. And thanks for Zach and Darren from Summit City Live for coming on and talking to us.
Yes. Look out for Summit City Live.
Oh, yeah. Talk to you later.